So the other day I made this post here and I had a lot of people asking me this question of how to go about making this effect. And I'm gonna walk you through it step by step on how to make this effect. First thing you wanna do is find a photo that works. I've noticed that photos that have some kind of like hand or foot or something kind of just extended usually works really well. I also noticed that if like their hands are like clenched, that works really well. So that's what we're gonna go with. I have this lacrosse photo here and we're gonna go into Photoshop and we're gonna make this effect. So it's a really easy effect to do. The first thing you wanna do is you wanna go to your layers tab and you wanna create a new layer. So that's that. Then you're gonna go to the pen tool. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna go to view and we're gonna go to guides. And then we're gonna create a new guide layout and we're gonna make columns 3 and rows 3 and then have no width, height, or gutter, just like that. And you wanna make a grid because what you're doing is you're replicating an Instagram grid layout. So make that, and now we have this. This is getting us to the correct layout per se, but not necessarily the effect. So now with our pen tool and our new layer, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the grid. So we're gonna just click on this bottom here, and then we're gonna go all the way across because that's gonna stay normal. And then we're gonna do that. I like to right click, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to stroke path. So one thing I want you to be careful of is when you have it set to brush here, it's gonna just take your last thing that you use your brush. So if I hit OK, it's gonna look like that. That's not ideal. So we're gonna hit Control Z and we're gonna back out and we're actually gonna go to our brush tool. So if you can see, my brush is at 1000 with the 0 hardness from whatever the last project I was working on. We're gonna change that to like 3 and hardness 100. And hopefully that should give us a nice effect. Honestly, we probably do a little bit more 3. Let's do like 5. You know, can't really see it. Do a little test. That should be pretty good. But as you can see, it's also black. So let's fix that to make it white. So you can hit X to switch it over. You can go D and that'll give you your default colors, which is black and white. So now, same idea. We're gonna go back to our pen tool and the path is still there. So same thing, just right click, stroke path, brush. There we go. And if I hit hide, we have our first thing. And looking at it, we probably go a little thicker. So we're gonna just go back and we're gonna fix it. Do this until you get to a number you like. I don't remember the number that I did the last time, but I definitely feel like it could be thicker. So we're gonna bring that back with the pen tool. I'm just gonna restroke the path. Nice thing is once you figure this out, we're good. I think this should actually be pretty good. 10 looks pretty good to me. So that's that. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go in here and we're gonna hit delete path. It's not gonna delete the white grid, it's just gonna delete that path so we can make a new path, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're actually gonna take this one here, we're gonna straight down, and we're gonna do the same thing, create path. Bam. So now if you're looking at it, we're slowly getting that Instagram grid look, okay? But now we gotta do our effect. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna have the top horizontal line go into his hand here. And then I'm gonna have the top vertical line kind of do the same. It's gonna look a little bit more interesting there, but that's how we're gonna get our effect. So let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna click, I forgot to delete my path. Delete path. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna bring it over to the next coordinate because I want that to kind of stay straight. But when I do that, I'm gonna extend this out by holding shift and just dragging. So that way, when I move it up to here, because that's where I want this intersection to be, I'm gonna click that, same thing, shift and drag this out to get this effect. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this corner here to where the grid would end naturally. And again, shift and drag this out. And what that's gonna do, it's going to create this natural looking layer or line that looks like he's kind of just pulling it up from the grid. So same thing, we're gonna stroke path. Actually, before I do that, I'm actually gonna create a new layer and we're gonna stroke path this way. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna look like that. And if I hide all this, that's kind of like what we're looking like. You can kind of see the effect that we're going for here. But now we still have to do this like vertical line. So we're gonna do that one more time. So we're gonna unhide our layers. Let's make a new layer for this line. And we're gonna do the same thing. So, forgot to delete path again. All right, so let's delete the path. We're going to go here And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to this next intersection. We want that to stay normal. And then how do I want to do this? I want him to be like he just pulled it out just like a little bit. So I think I'm actually going to even go up to this next one. And let's try this out. We're going to go here. And we're just going to kind of drag this up a little. And then we're going to bring this here and kind of drag that up. Let's see how this looks. It might not look great, but we're going to try it. And then stroke path, okay. Hide. I don't think that's bad. So now to really sell this effect, what we want to do is we want to separate him from the background. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to our object selection tool. And we're just going to drag and drop right over him, or drag right over him. And that should create a new layer. Then we're going to Control J to have him have a new layer. And that should give us this. This is already kind of selling that effect, but we're going to kind of do a little bit more. What I'm going to do is we are going to create a mask, and we're going to kind of brush over spots that we want the grid to be over, essentially. So you see how this grid's kind of blocking, like going behind this guy here. It's not a perfect layer, but we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our mask, make sure the color is selected black, and here hardness 0, 100 is fine. So we're just going to go like that. And then just kind of paint right over it to kind of make it look like that grid is going in front of the subject. And then same thing here, we're gonna kind of just clean this up. And I'm okay with it kind of going over his lower half of his body. All right, so next thing we wanna do is see how that's just gone. You know, that's not ideal. You kind of wanna see that. So let's kind of paint this back and see how this looks, you know. So now we're going to kind of play around with it. Let's kind of zoom in. And what we want to do here is to make it look like it's going into his palm and maybe out of his finger. So we're going to kind of play around, do something like that. Maybe like that. Okay. And then what I want to do is we're going to do this. Nope, not what I want to. Control Z. I'm going to bring this. And what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of paint it right here to make it look like it's going into his palm. Okay. And then it's going to come out just like that. We don't see the top, so I don't really have to worry about that. Next thing I want to do is you see this, it needs to look like it's going into his hand. So we're just going to kind of brush this in just like such. And then here, we're going to do the same, even though it's going to go over his thumb, but into his fingers. So let's make this a little bigger to make it easier. And then just like that, clean that up a little bit. And then if we zoom out, see how it looks like it's going into his hand. That's kind of what we want. And honestly, that's a good end goal position for this photo. And yeah, that's how you would kind of do this effect. Let me know if you guys like these kind of tutorial videos. And the last one was actually a lot more successful than I thought it was going to be. So if you guys want to see more of this is how you can do like that Instagram look. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time. Bye.